Kennedy Space Center, June 1984. And the world is buzzing with excitement as NASA prepares to make a big leap in space exploration. Only one problem.
Engine start, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Nautical miles. Engines throttling up. 3 engines now at 104%.
Challenger, go with throttle up.
Challenger, go with throttle up. 1 minute 50.
August 27th, 1984. President Ronald Reagan announces a competition.
Today I'm directing NASA to begin a search in all of our elementary and secondary schools and to choose as the first citizen passenger in the history of our space program, one of America's finest, a teacher.
He states it would be a teacher in space project, a project dedicated to honoring teachers while getting students excited about space and STEM. Some 11,000 teachers entered, but only one would win. Fast forward to July 1985. Krystal McAuliffe, a teacher at the time at Concord High School, would win. Krystal lived a normal suburban childhood life. She grew up in Boston in a family of 7, went to school, and got a job as a teacher after graduating from Bowie State College with a master's degree in education. She later worked at 3 schools, finally settling down at Concord High School in 1982, where she resided with a family of her very own. You could say she was very well accomplished, but had greater plans. The mission. Space Shuttle mission Challenger STS-51L would be announced on January 27, 1985. Along with Krystal, the team for the mission would be Dick Scobie as lead in command, Michael Smith as the co-pilot, mission specialist Elson Onizuka, Judith Resnick, and Robert McNair. Payload specialist Gregory Jarvis. Krystal was also a payload specialist. The primary task was to use an IUS, or inertial upper stage, the space launch system that allowed for spacecrafts to get an extra push once out of Earth's orbit. Once in space, the team would be tasked with deploying a satellite named TDRSB, which would allow for communication with other spacecraft. The team would also be studying Halley's Comet as it passed the Sun, and the deployal and retrieval of the Spartan satellite. For 1 year, Krystal would be training, doing interviews, and be somewhat of an icon. Students of hers would visit her and wish her good luck. A year went by, and the launch date was set to July 1985, and would be later postponed 5 times until January 28, 1986. That morning of January 1986, the whole country would be watching. The mood was joyous, late as people around the country were ready to see what would be the first teacher in space. It was nationally broadcasted on televisions across the country. Even people from Reddit recall seeing it from their classrooms on TV cards. Students of Krystal showed up with their families, and spectators waited in anticipation. It was to be the 25th space shuttle launch at Cape Canaveral, Florida. CNN has its cameras covering everything that morning following the launch. Finally, it was time. At 9:38 a.m., the Challenger crew was scheduled to launch. Then it was delayed. At 11:38 a.m., the crew was given the go. At the NASA space station, people were cheering. People outside were watching in awe of the future. Even inside the space shuttle, the mood was light.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle.
In just 73 seconds after liftoff, the shuttle had bursted into a mass explosion. Instant distraught and confusion were brought to the masses of spectators seeing what had just happened. Debris would fall over the sky over the Atlantic Ocean. An immediate search and rescue team would be sent out to find any possible survivors. None could be found. The shuttle had flown 12 miles above the surface and started traveling towards the Atlantic at 207 miles per hour. So what went wrong? Temperatures that day were less than ideal, 26 degrees Fahrenheit at the time of launch. It would have been one of the coldest recorded temperatures for a NASA space shuttle launch. NASA later determined the O-rings of the ship had eroded. The O-rings were found in a compartment that would help hold together the rocket boosters of the shuttle. Since the O-rings eroded, the seal holding the boosters intact essentially was missing, causing the right booster of the shuttle to explode because it was the only thing holding the booster together. NASA would later be criticized for its violation of their own safety policies. Engineers working on the mission even warned against launch that day. So what can we conclude? The events that happened this day would be a national disaster. Space exploration would go heavily defunded after the events of that fatal day. It seemed like an innovative opportunity to inspire a generation turned into tragedy. It's even the smallest things that can go wrong.